Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. What up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for American Horror Story Freak Show, Season 4, Episode 12, Showstopper. I am your host, Dom. With me is Mike.
Hi.
And Rachel.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going.
It's going well.
I had a little problem trying to watch this show this week.
Why?
I had a small problem.
No. I had a problem because I was watching it on demand, and it stopped right at the point where he opened Maggie up and everything fell up, and it kept repeating that. I'm like, no, stop! I don't keep seeing this over and over again.
This stuff nightmares are made out of.
And it wouldn't go any further, so I had to get on my computer and watch it.
Oh.
I enjoy a good flood of intestines as much as the next person, but I mean,
yeah,
that would get excessive.
I don't even. This episode was amazing. This is the best episode of the season yet.
Well, it was tying up so many loose ends in
It is.
all at once.
It is. I mean, so what was that?
And letting some
I would say we
ends
still
out.
don't know what's so magical about Stanley's junk,
I don't think we will at this point.
and
Oh, they probably cut it
I'm
off.
fucking curious.
I'm not.
Cut it off.
I'm not. But it's just like, all right, so we were already, our prediction last week about the twins getting sawed in half was completely false.
Close.
It was kind of.
There was
a
that part
chick.
where he did say,
Yeah.
what's his face?
Yeah,
Chester
you're right.
did say, we're gonna saw you two in half.
Yeah, so it seems like some of those flashbacks may not be premonitions after all. So they were kind of internal red herrings to throw us off
Love it.
by having almost all of them come true except for like one. I mean, we still have an episode, so we can't say for sure. But for all we know, it's false. So the episode opens up with a big dinner celebration with Chester and all the freaks.
All
and
freaks.
Yeah, Chester's the new owner of the freak show, and then Elsa, just before she leaves to go to Hollywood, she excuses Chester from the table and turns
And Marjorie. Don't forget about Marjorie.
Marjorie. And then turns the celebration over to Stanley.
Oh.
They come out with a big gift.
I knew something was up.
They're talking about, as soon as they started going in depth of the movie, I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
The start of that scene, because we had talked about it last week, that
Right.
she had to have told them about Stanley,
Right.
Maggie. So I'm sitting there, this whole scene, like, all right, like, they excuse themselves, Stanley, we have to thank you. And at this point, I'm like, all right, who's stabbing him? Who's, what's going to happen? Like, I was waiting for it.
There was that little seed of doubt. Like, did they not tell him? Like, how did they pull that off without telling her about Stanley? Like, how did they not know? And then I'm like, no, they're up to something. What are they up to? And then they're like, the movie, and I'm like, oh god, what's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
In the box, I thought it was going to be... I don't know what I thought it was going to be, but it wasn't what it was in the box.
I thought it was gonna be Ma Petite.
Yeah, at first I that crossed my mind too. That maybe hey, look what I have back now.
Yeah,
I thought head in the box. I thought it was going to be Dell's head in the box.
And that was another thought too.
Yeah, but they didn't know Stanley was tied to Dell. That was never revealed.
It's a cock in a box.
It's very, yeah, you're right. But that was just my thought when he's opening the package. I'm like, it's going to be Dell's head.
Yep.
And it's going to freak him out, and then they're going to start shanking him.
Yep. However, in the box was the museum lady's head. The curator of the Curiosity Museum. Yeah.
And then we got to see what happened after Maggie fainted upon seeing Jimmy's claws.
Yep, we got the flashback of them murdering her. She sent all the security home. They were easy getaway,
Mm-hmm.
So, They retaliate by lashing out at him. Like, Elsa hooks him to the spinning wheel of doom, starts hucking knives at him just to scare him a little bit. Then, after they pull him off, hucks one at his leg, and then pretty much sets off the deadliest game as they let a human being go and have all these people hunt him down.
Dangerous cat mouse.
Yeah.
Cat mouse game right there.
Yeah.
And then they don't show exactly what happened, but
They left it.
You die.
Yeah, they left it to the imagination. You figured, I mean, he's trapped under the trailer. You know, there's people that could fit under there. Mm-hmm. And they're armed with sharp implements. Like, I figured they were just going to hack him to pieces.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, what were you guys thinking about the Freaks' justice system?
Wasn't surprised.
Yeah, because who else is going to help them?
It's just general. It's like it's no wonder that this, with the way that they handle things, it's no wonder that this type of show has been like a dying breed. You know, obviously, this is not the way that every freak show ever has handled things, but I'm sure there were a couple isolated incidents of this somewhere along the line, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Mm. I mean, back then, when you were a freak, you were basically an outcast. You might as well have been, you know...
Yeah.
Black.
Yeah.
I mean, it was... you were probably treated worse.
It's just like their justice system is, if a freak murders a freak, then you murder that freak. It's like, what?
Well, that's just how it is. I mean, that was how it is, because they don't trust the law, because the law looks at them less than human.
Right.
And it doesn't even matter. It's, you know, if you hurt one of our own. Yeah, if you hurt one of your own, we hurt you is basically where they went with that.
Tit for tat.
So it doesn't matter if it's a freak, a regular person, or who it is. You know, you hurt one of them, they're going to give it right back to you.
Yeah, but the one good thing that came out of this is at least we know that Elsa knows how to host a good murder.
A good murder party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Murder feast.
Mm-hmm. She a big old pig and some wine going around.
She's really got those themed dinners down. It's, you know, it's great. I would go to one of her dinner parties.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I mean, as long as I know I didn't do anything wrong. So
exactly.
Yeah. And we get a lot of stuff this episode dealing with Jimmy. You know, he's informed that his father was murdered. Elsa, it's direct out of her mouth. However, it is not stated that Elsa did it. They keep that anonymity. Elsa says that we all did it.
We all did it. He had it coming.
He had it coming. He told him about Mom. Didn't she say something about Mom Petite? He killed her.
Yeah, but he flipped out at first for Maggie. Right? He's like, you're going to believe her? And Elsa's like, you know, I saw it with my own eyes. I heard him confess with my own ears. You know, it's not just her. She's done a tremendous job in helping us at this point.
She said if it wasn't for Maggie, more people would be dead.
Right. Mm-hmm. But at this point, Jimmy is still upset. You know, the loss of his hands and, you know, the loss of his father. Everything culminated into this one thing. And he just still, you know, especially after everything that happened between him and Maggie, he wants nothing to do with her at all.
Yep.
But Elsa's hell-bent on saving him, keeping him, you know, giving him new hands. So she has Maggie clean the bandages. Jimmy's like, absolutely not. I'd rather sit in the blood. You know, and she ends up cleaning it.
Typical male.
Yeah, she seems genuinely, you know.
I think she has. She at first, you know, she was the whole con artist, but I think as she got to know them, her love for them and everyone there became real. It became genuine. She got to know them as people, not just as freaks.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then we see Elsa bring in her doctor, the same one that performed on her legs.
They bought her
who last season was the Axeman. But we get him to come in and assess Jimmy of the situation, craft these new hands for him. And not only by the end of the episode's revealed, you know, through we get like the touching little flashback with Jimmy's mother and, you know, all that kind of stuff. In the end, it's revealed that Jimmy didn't want normal prosthetic hands. He wanted his lobster claws. And that's
what made him him. It's what made him unique.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see, you know, him rocking or sitting there with those prosthetics with those Star Trek fingers going on.
Yeah.
You know?
And, I mean, the doctor did say, he's like, it's your choice. You tell me how you want them to look and how you want them to function. I'll make you whatever the hell you want.
Yep.
And that's, he said they're perfect.
They are.
It also made me, the whole thing with the doctor and Elsa, it made me kind of feel sorry for her. She loved him so much, and then he didn't love her back like she was supposed to. Well, he did, but he wanted revenge.
Yeah. And he got locked up with Dr. Hans Gruber, where, oh my God.
Electrodes to the nuts!
No, but that was disturbing, but his name disturbed me more. It's like this. Let's reuse German villain names, a bad guy from fucking Die Hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's my great.
It kind of tore up my heartstring a little bit, because then you kind of know, a little more of Elsa's story, her loss.
Yeah, and the whole, the torture, I thought he was just, hooking them up to the metal chair at that point. And then when he put the second one as close as, I was like... I
knew exactly what he was doing.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Don't ever give horrible doctors the benefit of the doubt.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a trap.
I won't do it. It's a trap. It's a tarp.
Bet and Dot, they're getting it on hot and heavy with Chester. They convince Chester to put Marjorie away. He just knocks her to the floor like she was nothing.
Fuck that, I'm getting laid.
Like an old sock.
Yeah. Really? Just down she goes. I was surprised the way he treated her. Obviously it's a doll, but the relationship that he has with her, I was surprised that he treated her that way.
And we were at the point, we were discussing this, is this a doll all in his head, or is this some supernatural cursed object that's, attached to him?
I split personality. I'm still on that.
I was still going for the supernatural, but...
I was hoping the doll was actually alive.
Yeah, we already got the supernatural with Edward Mordrake.
Yep.
So, it's there.
I had a feeling it was split personality.
I was hoping that it was some kind of, spirit put in the doll. Kind of like, Chucky. How Chucky was, was an actual human, soul inside the doll. So, but shortly after all that goes on, Dandy shows up with the report that last episode we saw him get the report. So he brings it over to Bet and Dot, and he really plants a seed of doubt with them.
Oh, definitely. It's there black and white.
Hey,
Granted, Danny could have forged it and stuff, but that's still,
a lot of work to go through.
It
is
a lot of work to go through.
So we see what ends up happening with we already talked about. Chester ended up sawing Maggie in half. He literally sawed her in half. Intestines, guts, blood, everything flying all over the place. So the freaks seemed in shock. They were horrified at first, but in the end of it all, they really didn't care.
Yeah, you hear...
Desiree was like, let's bury the bitch.
Yeah, you heard, what's his name? Paul. He's just like, what the bloody hell is going on? And then it's like, oh, she's dead.
Yeah. She had that coming. Somebody specifically goes, she had that coming.
That was Desiree.
Yeah, Desiree said that. She's like, had it coming. Let's bury
Desiree was very, pissed off at her.
Yeah. But as you said at the beginning of this episode, at the beginning of the podcast, Rachel, this was almost Bet and Dot in there. So in a way, if it wasn't for Dandy, they probably would have been cut in half.
They might have.
Yeah, they very well could have been.
Maggie only had something to prove. That's why she got into the box.
She told Jimmy that she was going to prove herself to them.
Yep.
Well, she's dead now.
The way that I saw them do the trick in the first place, though, when Chester showed the trick for the very first time, is that particular box. When the person got in, they never put their feet through the holes. They pushed down on a board which pushed fake feet through. So, for that to even happen in the first place, it was... And then, because she got her feet handcuffed outside the box, that's why she couldn't pull them back in. But under no circumstance, would you be able to stick your feet out, have the audience see your feet out, then be able to pull them back in without the audience realizing your feet have been switched. It would be very apparent. So they already set the trick up to fail no matter what.
Yeah.
The way it was set up. So it was a little awkward. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, no, Maggie, no. We just got through seeing you die last season.
Dom cried.
I did.
He shed a tear.
Rachel, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have been able to function if I saw what you saw. Just repeated viewings of her intestines spewing out over and over, caught on loop.
I was like, what the hell?
I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't. You know what I feel like. Maggie, she's my future ex-girlfriend.
She doesn't know that yet.
She doesn't, but she will.
But yeah, I mean, so far,
somewhere out there, someone's gonna end up forwarding one of these podcasts. It's gonna get back to her at some point.
Well, so far in this right now, at this point, we think of at least 2 people dead.
Yeah.
Iggy and Stanley.
Right.
Yep.
But then we hear about plan number 3, which is for the freaks to murder Elsa, because as Stanley was crying out and pointing blame, he said, Elsa, she's the one that murdered Ethel.
Yep.
I helped her cover it up. Yeah, and that put this, that planted it in all the other, freaks' heads. What they were already thinking, like, Ethel didn't seem like that kind of person. And now that being said again, they realized...
Yeah, they thought about it.
Yeah.
They started putting the numbers together, and, it just didn't add up.
Yep.
Nope. So Bet and Dot hear about this, and they go approach Elsa. They walk in on her taking her legs off, which, out of context, that sounds really weird. But, yeah, so they're basically...
I don't think many people in the show know that she has prosthetic legs.
Ethel?
Ethel
didn't know. Oh, I didn't know Ethel knew.
Yeah, Ethel knew because she shot her in the leg.
Well, she knew because she shot her in the leg.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Before that, she didn't know.
No, but Ethel knew. Who else? There's one other person.
Paul knows.
Paul. Is it Paul?
Does he?
Yep. He had sex with her. How can he not know?
It depends on how drunk he was.
Or high, I guess. But he has to know.
I would assume.
Well, anyway, they were shocked to find out.
Yeah. But then Ben and Dot, they tell Elsa. They're just like, get the fuck out of here. Now, leave.
They're coming to kill you. Get out.
You're going to die. Elsa's like, why would I believe you? So they spew out, what Stanley's lies have been spreading around the camp and, all this and that. And they go, look, you saved us. Consider us even.
Yep. And then...
Elsa
now the
gets
mob's going to turn on the girls. I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen.
Very well could. Elsa gets the fuck out. You see her packing all her shit up. She gets in the car. She's sitting there. And, the hell? She's sitting there, and then someone gets in the car. I'm like, oh god, who's walking up to the car? Who is it?
At first, I thought it might have been the doctor.
That's what I thought, too.
But it's Dandy.
No. Yeah.
She sells Dandy, the freak show, after selling it to Chester. For was it?
Yeah.
What was it, 10 million?
$10,000 in cash.
10,000.
10 grand in cash in 1950, whatever the hell, 3.
Yeah.
That is a lot of fucking money.
Mm-hmm.
She's set for a while.
Yep. While this is going on, we see Chester rush into the police department with a blanket while he's covered in blood.
Oh,
and
we forgot, he
stabbed
break. He had a psychotic break in his trailer.
After sawing Maggie in half, and he wound up stabbing the shit out of Marjorie.
Marjorie, yeah.
This is after Marjorie made him remember that he killed his wife and wife's girlfriend.
Yep.
And she was leaving. Marjorie was leaving.
Marjorie was going to leave him.
Yeah. So he stabbed the shit out of her.
Out of a wooden doll.
Yeah, he murdered her.
And then he brought the doll, wrapped it in a blanket to the police station. I'd like to report a murder.
And he's covered in blood, and of course they're going to be looking into that.
Put your hands where we can see them. Step away.
They open it up and it's a wooden doll. What the hell?
He just drops to his knees and he's just like, I did this. It was me.
They're going to put him in the loony bin.
Yeah, someone's going to the loony bin.
They're going to put him in the loony bin.
So, we were speculating last week. We knew he was going to be in 2 episodes. We don't know for sure if he's going to be in all 3.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think we're going to see any more of Chester, or is that it?
I think they might show what happened to him.
I hope they show what happens to him.
Yeah,
and yeah, because I love the character. He's awesome.
I would have loved to see this character in from the beginning of the series and see a lot more development with him. He's gotten some phenomenal development over 2 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of history. He has a lot of, there's a lot of story that could be there.
Yeah, and I would have liked to see, how Marjorie would have played out a little bit more. With like Edward Mordrake and like, all these things. I would have liked to see some interaction, through the whole season. Dandy and, it would have been, if like Dandy and Chester could have had some amazing moments.
Yeah. I'm looking on IMDb right now. He is credited for the finale episode.
Okay. Excellent.
Was he in any other seasons of this? Or no?
Right? No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, he's credited for 3 episodes.
Okay, so they extended. So. They originally said final 2, so. But yeah, awesome. But with that, we see Dandy walking into the circus tent. He goes up on stage. He's practicing his bows. He's practicing, just looking at the crowd and
being dandy.
Yeah, just being dandy.
Just being dandy.
Fine and dandy. When he hears something behind him.
And it was at that point, as soon as the grumbling was like, oh, Stanley's not dead.
I thought it was Maggie. I don't know why.
No, I thought it was Maggie as well. It was because they didn't show us what happened to Stanley. I'm like, what did they like?
I thought one of the final scenes that we did see with Stanley was Lizard Girl going for him.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
It was kind of that moment of, look what I've become. Here's what you're going to become.
I never understood how... Okay, I know I've had quite a few tattoos. Your hair does grow back.
Mm-hmm.
Why does she keep it shaved in the middle? Of all the things, doesn't make you any less of a lizard. I don't know. That's just irked me for the longest time.
It's not like they had permanent hair removal techniques back then.
But all they did was shave her head.
Yeah, they didn't scalp her or anything.
No, they shaved her head and tattooed. Her hair will grow back.
They could have soldered her head shut for all... I don't know.
Her hair grows back.
He could have tarred
It's just like a bitch.
Head.
It's just like a bitch, but it grows back.
Even if they plucked it all out, it would have grew back.
Grow back.
Yeah.
It's not scarred.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, but Stanley is the new Meep.
God. They took out his tongue because he didn't say anything. He was just making noises.
Yeah. So they probably cut his tongue out.
He has no legs, no arms.
Yep, no legs, no arms. He's basically getting the Jimmy treatment with his hands,
Jeez.
Is it wrong that I laughed at that?
It was really funny. Like, they left his mustache intact.
Oh, darling. They left his porno stash.
Yeah.
They left his stash. Yeah.
He's dressed like Meep. I think it's kind of a justice, because Meep is the first one that suffered, but was it at the hands of Stanley? I think that was
Stanley
before.
Wasn't even introduced to the series yet.
It was because of Del.
Right.
Yeah, Meep.
Because they planted the officer's badge in Del's, and he found it and put it in Meep's.
Right. So that had to do with Del. That had nothing directly to do with Stanley. However, we know Del and Stanley were kind of working together, but that wasn't even revealed till much later on. So I don't think any of that had any effect beforehand. So
no,
I don't think so either.
And it's. Do you think the freaks are going to find out at some point that Del was being blackmailed by Stanley, or do you think that's just there's no way to find that out at this point?
I don't think they care.
It doesn't matter. It don't matter.
Yeah, it don't matter.
I mean, because Elsa essentially is the same thing. I mean, Elsa did it on her own accord, but she was influenced by Stanley, so...
Yeah, it doesn't matter right now.
And the funny thing that was interesting is if you guys saw the preview for next week. Well, all right. So the next episode's called Curtain Call.
Mm-hmm.
It says the Freaks rebel against new management. Dandy prepares for his debut performance, and Elsa arrives in Tinseltown. But in the preview, we see the Freaks discussing, and they say that Ethel wouldn't have left us without leaving a note.
Yeah.
Right.
She also took the note.
Right.
There was a note.
There was a note. That's the thing. There was a note. So do you think that note is going to come into play now? Are they going to see that note and realize?
Depends if Elsa left it in her in their ticket with her.
Yeah.
That's
Depends on what exactly she left. She might have left it in the haste to get out of there, so they might find it.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But we don't know.
We don't know.
Well, I don't think. I have a feeling that, because since Dot and Bet weren't there when they were planning to kill Elsa, they might be like, "Did you tip her off?" But then Danny's gonna protect them. I don't know.
Dandy, I still want the guy to die.
Yeah,
He's gotta die.
No, I know. And as much as I want it, and usually this is what happens when I want something bad to happen in a series like that, like a character get offed. Yeah, he's going to be the sole fucking survivor.
Okay. I'd be happy with that.
All the freaks are going to die, or most of them are going to die, or be injured in some way. The freak show is going to burn down, all the tents are going to be set on fire, and Dandy's going to be the only one walking away.
I'd like it.
I wouldn't.
I mean,
I don't know. I have a feeling that they're not going to do it it's not going to be like the big spectacular fire and everything going to happen. I think this is going to be a little more low key. Like they're going to leave you wondering.
Bang.
Yeah. All right. So I guess predictions right now. Final scene.
Dandy is Elsa's guest on like one of her episodes of the Elsa Mars Hour or whatever the hell it is.
That would be hilarious.
Okay, Rachel, any?
That's the final scene.
I don't have any idea. Since I haven't watched any of the ones before, this is my first one, so I have no clue how they would have gone with it. Granted, I could see them just grin and bearing it and working for Dan because they need the money and that's all they can do. And maybe later on it breaks up.
I think final scene is going to be something from the asylum. I think they're going to come back, tie it up one last time. I think we're going to see the asylum again.
Or Dandy's going to get abducted by the aliens.
I highly doubt that.
I don't know.
Oh, what's his face? Why can't Chester's going to be in the asylum? Watch that.
I'd like to see Edward Mordrake or Twisty somehow show up in this episode, some way, shape, or form. Even if it's through a flashback, but
I don't know.
Instead of that,
it's really hard to predict this one because it could go so many different ways right now.
It is. I think it's safe to say that the Freak Show will not be continuing after, like the show itself, American Horror Story Freak Show. We know is ending after next week's episode, but I mean, in terms of continuity, is the show still running off air? I think not. I think it will be
because
finite.
it's the ending. It's the ending of what the Freak Shows.
Yeah, it's essentially the last one in existence.
And basically, it's just Dandy's way because he's always wanted to perform. He always wanted to be an actor. This is his way of doing it. So he might have turned it into something different. Not a Freak Show. Maybe something different.
Yeah.
To satisfy his own selfish need to be in the spotlight.
Yep. Any other final thoughts?
I got nothing. Andy better be in a pool of his own blood.
I really hope
it doesn't. My show doesn't stop in some weird place next week.
I really hope that Dandy is the only survivor, so Mike can be very happy.
I'll sit here in sulking silence all through the next episode if that happens.
I want Penny and Paul to ride off in the sunset and have kids.
You'll have whoever's on this, whoever's here next week, 3 other boxes talking about it. I'll just be sitting here like...
He's going to be pouty the whole time.
I'll be pouty the whole time if he survives. No, if he's the sole survivor.
Dom's still mad. He's going to go cry in his milk.
Is that why you wanted to rant, Dom, by the way? I got a text message in the middle of cooking dinner tonight. It's like, I need to rant. Did you watch the show yet? I'm like, no, I'm cooking. I'm sorry. I'm going to watch it when I eat.
Because Maggie died.
Was that why you needed to rant?
Yes.
He's a little sad in his pants.
She will always be the supreme in my eyes. Mike, where can the people find you?
Not mourning Maggie's death.
But praising dandies.
On Twitter at Philodrin. Right there, as you can see.
Rachel, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Twitter at Savannah17.
Excellent. You can find me down below at Phenomedom, Phenomedom, where I will in fact be mourning Maggie's death.
Dun, 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 dun.
You can also find us on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Till next week, Freak Show finale. See you guys later.
Bye-bye. I'm looking up how many roles that chick plays a villain in.
I am going to
Maggie?
find that clip and just have it and just
She
recite,
doesn't,
like,
really. That's what's her face's niece?
Leslie.
I know, that's Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts.
Have you seen Scream 4?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just gonna find that part where he opens up and
She
she
was
falls out,
fantastic in
and just
Scream 4,
repeat
by the
it
way.
over and over again and just send it to you, Dom.
Thanks. She's fantastic in Scream 4. She was also in Meet the Millers, but she didn't play. She didn't play an evil character in that.
Okay.
Guts.